Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with the 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here, overnight low down here. Those are our key levels for the day. I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here, just as we were testing this overnight high. Now starting out, I'm going to move that channel for a sec. So this is the channel at first. When I started trading right here, it was pretty clear to get that channel. It's got 3 bounces off the lows. That's pretty clear. It also just tested that EMA right there, and so when you get when price tests the EMA and this trend line at the same time and pushes up, that's telling you that both of those levels are support because it clearly found support off both of them. But more importantly, you don't want to enter into a confirmed trend line like that just because you have a red bar off the overnight high. So this is not a good short. It didn't even reach either of those levels here, but clearly we're going higher. We have higher highs and higher lows. And once again, we just came off the EMA and the trend line. You don't want to enter short right into that. So anyway, we push on up, we blast through this measured move right here, and then we get this correction back down. So when you have this uptrend here, you're looking for longs to continue this uptrend. Now you get this 2 legs back. Now considering how small these 2 legs back are compared to the overnight level, because the overnight levels are very, very important. They're magnets. I say they're magnets because price is attracted to them. Price will try to retest them. And so that's why I wanted to wait on this second attempt, because you have this measured move in play. Price could easily attempt to reach this measured move down here. It could tick higher, stop you out trying to reach that measured move, and then having this overnight level down here doesn't help because once again it's a magnet. Prices are attracted to it, and so that's why I like this, because it's small picture, but you can still see what's going on here. We have downtrend, break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower right there, and so that forms not only uptrend break expecting a new high. It's not only a failure to reach this measured move, it's also a triple test and also a double test of the EMA, and so I like seeing that right there. And I just push it to that high swing right there. Given that it's a failure to fade here, I didn't mind that it was starting to get sideways. We can still tell what's going on. And plus, when you're in a range, entering into chop doesn't matter as much. So I like that right there. And we push on higher here, so we start getting sideways again. We push on out. No clear setups in this area, unfortunately. And then here, which let me adjust this trend line, or let me bring this one back. So, or I'll just delete that one actually. So, after we pushed up here, I raised this trend line to there to see how it fits, and it fit well off the highs. And then we got this range around the trend line, but still no clear setups there. We push up, and then we get first entry long, second entry long. So this is a second entry long. The measured move is met on it. It's retesting this range high. And also, you have this new uptrend here. And even though it technically broke right there, that is basically it holding. It's broke a little bit, and then it shot back stronger. Broke a little bit, shot back strong. So this basically held right there. It's pretty clear that that's an uptrend, and then a break right there, expecting a new high. So, like I say, price action levels get bigger as more time goes on. You're going to have, notice at first you have this uptrend right here. We have a break, we make a new high. We get a little bit bigger, we have a break, new high, and then we go into this larger uptrend, and then we get a break, new high. So if the trend continues to get bigger, you're going to get bigger breaks and bigger pushes to new high, and then it could just continue forming a larger uptrend until it eventually, completely breaks. But anyway, so like I said, uptrend, break, expecting a new high, 2 legs back, retesting this range right here, very clear bullish signal bar. I like that trade a whole lot. But I didn't want to push it past here because you made this double top right there, and then you're also into the highs of the day. So I didn't want to combine those to possibly get stopped out. So that's why I kept it before this swing right here, just in case it holds off of it and pushes back lower. So anyway, we push on out. We push up a lot more than that. So now we have uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, and then we start reversing back down here. So after those 2 attempts higher, we get this first entry long. It pushes through the EMA, but it does eventually close back above. So it's a first entry long on the EMA. But once again, that's just a first entry long. You want to see 2 legs back, not just one, especially when you're coming off one side of a channel. You want to see 2 attempts to reach the other side, because we got this channel going here. When you come off one side of a channel, you want to see price make 2 attempts to reach the other side before you continue with that channel. because when price comes off one side, you expect to see two legs back, just like in a range. When you're in a range like this, say, when you come off one side, you expect price to reach the other side. You want to see two attempts to reach the other side before you continue back in the other direction. Same thing applies to channels. So anyway, here we make this double top right here, and then we push lower here. We get a first entry long, second entry long, pushing out of this channel. And then here, we rush back above the EMA. Unfortunately, no way to get in on this short right here because it's not on a confirmed level, because of course when you make that swing right there, you don't have this trend line. You draw this trend line right here after it pushes on lower there. And so no way to get in on that, unfortunately. We push on lower here, and so that's when this channel is becoming more clear. And so we're starting to go down, and then we overshoot, and we reach this measured move right here. And that's important because it has to do with this loss right here. And so I took this loss. Now, I just wasn't, I didn't, you know, I wasn't really paying close enough attention because you can see first entry long, second entry long, failure. So I was taking a big picture, failed second entry, off the trend line, you know, third bounce, that's the confirming bounce. Now, what do you think I ignored here, or I just wasn't really paying enough attention to? So this measured move down, we met this measured move, and then it strongly rushed above the EMA right there. So a lot of times when you get a failed second entry, you'll still have that measured move in play. It wouldn't have been met, and then it's a perfect entry to reach a measured move. But we've already met that measured move and then rushed above the EMA, combining that with this overshoot right here. So when we have this trend and you overshoot, we know that overshoots lead to breaks. And so that's a few things working against this short right here. The overshoot, knowing that it leads to breaks, it leads to strong pushes out of the other side. The measured move is met. That's a perfect place to reverse higher because of that measured move. And then it just rushed above the EMA, and then the entry held above the EMA, and it didn't close below. So that's quite a few things wrong with this short. You know, I wasn't quite focused enough because at a glance, this looks good. It just looks like a big picture failed second entry, but there's a few things that are wrong with it once you look into it. But anyway, so that failed. I got hit right there, and then we pushed up, got a little bit choppy, and then we just rushed back down. So unfortunately, I didn't see any clear way to get in on this. We just push on lower here. We get this attempt to reverse back higher, and then we just push back lower again. We reach that overnight high, and we push on through. We get choppy, and then we bounce out of it. Unfortunately, there's no clear long entry out of that. You don't want to enter. I wouldn't even want to enter right into that EMA because, it's just so down at that point. Of course, you are retesting a major level. You could get a long off of it, but that doesn't mean you want to go against the immediate bias when you haven't, when the EMA hasn't proved itself to be weak. Because it's okay to enter into the EMA when it's been weakened and it's been chopping straight through it, but we're just straight down at that point. I don't want to enter right into that. So anyway, we push above the EMA. Now this would be a good place to look for a reversal pattern higher, but we just don't get that. We just get this uptrend break, new high. We start getting choppy. We form this failed second entry back down. And the reason I like this right here was because this is a failure to reverse higher. So when you retest an overnight high, there's going to be bulls looking to make a reversal pattern out of there and continue on up higher. But instead what happens is the uptrend has a break and a new high immediately, and then you immediately get a reversal pattern back down. Or it's a reversal from this uptrend, of course. It's a small picture reversal pattern for a pretty small attempt to reverse higher. So it's not like a huge picture trade, but you can clearly see what's happening here. We attempt to reverse, we have the uptrend break, new high, but then we just get a failed second entry back below the EMA, continuing with this most recent bias. And so that's why I like that, just pushing it to the overnight high just to retest that. I'm not betting on it pushing through. It could easily just bounce right off of it and go on higher. So that's why it was just to retest the overnight high there. So anyway, we push on lower here. We get this bounce. We attempt to reverse higher again. We get this higher low. Now, considering I was looking at some different trend lines here, we had some different stuff. It seemed very bearish at this point. Even though we were breaking out of it, I still wanted to avoid this higher low. I just really wanted to see a reversal pattern because we were really pushing lower there. It's very bearish. We're having very sharp spikes down. I just want to see a full reversal pattern because say that you take a higher low right here. A lot of the time you'll be right. you'll be right about the higher low. You know, it's going to go up, but what could easily happen is it ticks higher and then it stops you out to form a failed second entry, and then it goes right to where you were. So you were right about the context, but you didn't quite get the setup right. And that generally happens when the overall context is against the entry. So we're really getting bearish at this point, and this is a long, so I would just want to wait on a failed second entry. So anyway, we have this uptrend break, new high, reverse back down, make this double bottom. We push up higher there. I didn't like that because it was right after this huge sharp spike down, and then, you know, a double bottom, you can't, it's not like a confirmed resistance level. It's a confirmed resistance level once you make the double bottom, but I wasn't going to bet on that double bottom working out after a sharp spike down. You know, if we had gotten 2 clear legs, you know, maybe we could have got something, but we just don't get that. But then here we do get a second leg. We get 2 legs down, but the EMA, it just keeps going straight down. I wouldn't want to enter straight into that. It's just, you know, when you're this bearish, you know, the EMA, it can really affect your trades. You don't want to just enter into it unless it's been weakened, which it hasn't really been weakened. Even though it's been chopping through it a bit here, it's still going straight down. So it clearly has a bias. So I'm not going to enter right into that. Ideally, what happens here is we push up, get a reversal pattern, but we didn't get a full reversal pattern. You can see there's a small picture one there. We have a first entry short, second entry short failure. There's actually another tick lower there. But you see what I'm saying here. We push up, we get this red bar down, second push up, we form that failed second entry, but it's pretty choppy. So I don't really like that. But anyway, we push on up, we get this higher low. What I would want to see here is like a entry that's out of STT. I wish we could have gotten like a higher low here. I mean, it probably launched up here from when I started the video. I probably wouldn't have been able to get in on it, but ideally we would get a higher low in this situation because this is good context for a long entry, but STT right there, and then just the doji bar, and then we didn't get any clear good signal bars until we're already starting to push up there. And so anyway, yeah, so also I would want to keep the on an entry right here, I would like to keep it within this because we're starting to kind of go sideways in this area right here. And so I would just want to keep it within that that resistance right there. So it would be a kind of a smaller trade. But ideally, you know, we would get, you know, some decent higher low in this area. Or even, you know, what would also be good is you bust out like that, and then you get 2 legs back retesting. And then if you have room to the EMA, you might find a long there. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. We just make 2 legs up. So from this area here, you know, with 2 legs up, you know, draw this measured move. So we'll see what happens when price reaches there. It could maybe reverse down. So maybe we'll look for a reversal pattern below the EMA after that. But anyway, so that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out in some way. Hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you watching. Have a good one.